You have been lied to. Not by your parents, not by your friends, but by the very system built to prepare you for life. School promised you knowledge, success, and security. But what if I told you this promise was a mirage, a carefully crafted illusion that leaves millions drifting through life, lost, confused, and stuck in a cycle of mediocrity? By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same. Because today you will uncover the secrets school never taught you. But every successful person knows secrets that will shatter your limits and ignite your true potential. There is one invisible currency more valuable than gold, more precious than fame, and more powerful than any degree you can earn. It is the power of self-belief. Yet, this is a lesson that school never teaches you, and it is the silent architect of every person's destiny. Think for a moment about the last time you doubted yourself, that small, corrosive voice whispering, "You're not good enough," or "You don't have what it takes." That voice is the enemy. It is the invisible barrier between where you are and where you want to be. Napoleon Hill, in his timeless wisdom, declared, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." This is not just a poetic phrase, it is the cornerstone of all success stories throughout history. When you look at the lives of men like Thomas Edison, who endured thousands of failed experiments before inventing the light bulb, or Henry Ford, who was told repeatedly he lacked the education and resources to build an affordable car, what set them apart was an unshakable belief in themselves and their vision. They understood that belief is not merely wishful thinking. It is a force that shapes reality. But why is self-belief so elusive for many? Because it is not something handed down from a teacher or earned with a test score. It is cultivated deep within, nurtured by persistence, courage, and a refusal to accept the opinions of those who doubt you. When you begin to doubt yourself, you essentially hand the keys of your life to fear and uncertainty. Your mind becomes a battlefield, and unless you take command, defeat is inevitable. Imagine the psychological power behind belief. It is the lens through which you perceive the world. If you believe you will fail, every obstacle becomes a mountain too high to climb. If you believe you can succeed, every obstacle becomes a challenge to conquer. This shift in perception fuels your actions, and actions, relentless and focused, become your destiny. The mind does not just process thoughts, it engineers your reality. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling. Before her phenomenal success, she was rejected by multiple publishers, struggling as a single mother in poverty. But her belief in her story, her characters, and her own voice kept her going. That belief gave her the strength to push through despair and rejection until the world finally recognized her genius. Now, what does this mean for you? Your invisible currency, your self-belief, is not a fixed asset. It can be earned, grown, and defended. It starts with small victories, declaring that you will master one skill, that you will refuse to accept failure as final, that you will silence the doubters, most importantly, the one inside your head. Every time you say, "I can," even when you feel weak or afraid, you deposit strength into your belief bank. Action is the fertilizer for belief. Without action, belief withers. The moment you begin to act, no matter how small the step, you prove to yourself that you are capable. You break the chains of doubt. That is why belief is invisible, but undeniable. It is the soil in which dreams grow, the fire that fuels perseverance, and the compass that directs you through the darkest nights. In life, there will always be external challenges, setbacks, and critics. But the one battle you must win every single day is the battle within. The battle to believe in your own worth, power, and potential. Because until that battle is won, nothing else can truly take root. Once you do, nothing can stop you. Remember this, your mind is the greatest tool you own, and self-belief is the key to unlocking its limitless power. Failure is not the enemy, it is the teacher that school never wanted you to meet. From the moment we step into the classroom, we are conditioned to fear failure, to see it as something shameful, a mark of weakness, a final verdict on our worth. But the truth, hidden beneath this false narrative, is that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a crucial part of success itself. It is the fiery forge that tempers the strongest steel, the harsh tutor who refuses to let us settle for less than our potential. Napoleon Hill understood this deeply when he wrote, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." To grasp this is to change the very foundation of how you approach life. Think about the greatest achievements in history. How many of those stories began with what looked like utter failure? Take the story of Abraham Lincoln, a man who lost multiple elections, faced crushing personal tragedies, and was told he lacked the skills to lead. Yet he persisted, using each setback as a lesson, a stepping stone. Failure did not stop him. It taught him resilience, shaped his wisdom, and refined his leadership. Without those early defeats, would he have become the man who preserved a nation? It is impossible to say, but one thing is certain. He never saw failure as the end. Psychologically, failure forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. It pulls back the curtain on our weaknesses, our blind spots, and our faulty assumptions. This confrontation is painful, yes, but necessary. Without it, growth is impossible. Imagine trying to build a house without first identifying the cracks in the foundation. Failure reveals the cracks in your approach, your mindset, your habits. If you run from failure, you run from the truth that could set you free. But here is the profound paradox. Society teaches us to avoid failure, yet the greatest innovators, artists, and leaders embrace it. Thomas Edison's thousands of failed attempts before inventing the electric light bulb were not failures in his mind. They were experiments, essential data points guiding him closer to success. He famously said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset, seeing failure as feedback rather than defeat, is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain stuck. When you redefine failure as a teacher, you reclaim power. No longer does failure hold the ability to destroy you. Instead, it becomes a tool to sculpt your future. You start to take risks, innovate, and push beyond your comfort zone. You understand that each failure contains lessons encoded in pain, waiting to be deciphered. Every time you stumble, remember that you are in good company. Every success story is littered with failures. J.K. Rowling faced numerous rejections before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, yet his failures fueled his drive to become one of the greatest athletes ever. Their failures were not roadblocks, but the raw materials of their success. To change your life, you must change your relationship with failure. Stop fearing it. Stop avoiding it. Instead, ask yourself, what is this failure trying to teach me? How can I use it to get better? When you do this, you transform failure from a threat into an ally. Remember this truth. Failure is the tuition you pay for success. The lessons it imparts are invaluable, priceless, and indispensable. Embrace failure, learn from it, and let it propel you forward. Because in the end, it's not the failure that defines you, it's what you do with it. Emotional intelligence. This is the silent force of success that school never taught you, yet it shapes every aspect of your life more profoundly than any textbook ever could. While intelligence quotient measures raw brain power, emotional intelligence measures the power to master yourself and your interactions with others. Napoleon Hill understood this when he said, "You are the master of your own mind." But mastering your mind is not just about intellectual knowledge, it is about mastering your emotions, the hidden energy that drives your thoughts, decisions, and actions. Consider the greatest leaders in history. Abraham Lincoln, whose calmness in the storm of civil war steadied a fractured nation. Nelson Mandela, whose forgiveness after decades of imprisonment transformed a country and the world. Their genius was not just in strategy or intellect, but in emotional mastery, the ability to understand, control, and channel their feelings to create powerful outcomes. They understood that the mind and emotions are inseparable partners in the journey of success. Why is emotional intelligence so elusive? Because emotions are raw, unpredictable, and often messy. School teaches you to suppress feelings to fit into a system of rules and grades, but real life demands you to navigate emotions, your own and those of everyone around you. Emotional intelligence is the skill of recognizing your emotions before they control you, of calming your fears and managing your anger, and of using empathy to connect deeply with others. It is the secret to turning conflict into cooperation and chaos into clarity. Imagine this. Two people face the same stressful situation. One reacts with frustration and lashes out, burning bridges. The other pauses, understands the source of their stress, and responds thoughtfully. Who do you think will build lasting relationships, influence others, and open doors? The answer is clear. Emotional intelligence is not about ignoring feelings, but mastering their power. Psychologically, emotions serve as signals, guiding us through complex social landscapes. They influence how we perceive challenges and opportunity. When you cultivate emotional intelligence, you gain the ability to shift your perspective, to reframe problems as possibilities, and to recover quickly from setbacks. This resilience born from emotional mastery is the hallmark of those who succeed against all odds. Consider the story of Oprah Winfrey. She faced tremendous adversity in her early life, including poverty and trauma. Yet her emotional intelligence, her deep self-awareness and empathy enabled her to connect with millions, inspire change, and build a media empire. Oprah's success was not just talent, it was emotional wisdom. Emotional intelligence also fuels leadership. Leaders who lack it may have skills and knowledge, but they fail to inspire trust and loyalty. Those who master it create environments where people feel understood, motivated, and empowered. This is why companies now value emotional intelligence even more than technical skills. The good news: emotional intelligence can be developed. It starts with self-awareness, noticing how you feel and why. Then you learn to regulate those feelings, choosing responses that serve your goals instead of sabotaging them. Finally, you build empathy, the ability to see the world through another's eyes, fostering deeper connection. The moment you take control of your emotional world, you unlock a power greater than intellect alone. You stop being a slave to fear, anger, or doubt. You become the commander of your mind and heart, steering your life towards success. Remember, intelligence is not just about what you know, it's about how well you understand and master yourself. Emotional intelligence is the silent force that turns dreams into reality and obstacles into opportunities. Master it, and you master the art of success. Networking isn't just social, it's strategic survival. This is a lesson that school never taught you, yet it is one of the most critical skills for success in any arena of life. We grow up believing that success is a solo journey, a race you run alone with your talent and hard work. But history and experience prove otherwise. No one achieves greatness in isolation. Napoleon Hill captured this truth when he revealed the power of the mastermind, a group of minds working in harmony, creating energy, ideas, and opportunities that no one individual could achieve alone. The truth is simple. Your network is your net worth. Think about the great innovators, leaders, and entrepreneurs throughout history. Henry Ford didn't build the automotive empire by himself. He surrounded himself with brilliant engineers, strategists, and visionaries who challenged him and expanded his thinking. Oprah Winfrey didn't rise to media royalty without mentors, collaborators, and supporters who saw her potential and lifted her up. Even the most self-made individuals are the product of relationships. Some nurtured, some unexpected, but all critical. Psychologically, humans are wired for connection. Our brains seek relationships, not just for comfort but for survival. When you align yourself with others who share your vision, passion, or values, you multiply your energy and resources. This is not about shallow small talk or collecting contacts like trophies. It's about cultivating deep, meaningful alliances that create mutual growth. Imagine a spider's web. Each strand strengthens the whole. Your network functions the same way. Each connection adds strength, flexibility, and resilience. Now consider this. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they moving you forward or holding you back? This question strikes at the heart of strategic survival, because time is your most precious resource, and investing it with the wrong people is like pouring water into a cracked bucket. When you surround yourself with minds that inspire, challenge, and elevate you, your own potential expands exponentially. When you isolate or choose toxic company, you drain your energy and cloud your vision. The power of networking also lies in opportunity. Often, success is not just about what you know, but who you know. Doors open not because of luck, but because of relationships built on trust and value exchange. When you cultivate your network strategically, you create a fertile ground where ideas can sprout, collaborations can ignite, and fortunes can be made. This is why some people always seem to be in the right place at the right time. They have created the right environment through their network. Take the story of Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Their partnership wasn't just about shared technical skills, it was about complementary strengths and mutual trust. They created Apple not as individuals, but as a mastermind duo. Jobs knew the power of surrounding himself with the right people, innovators who could bring his vision to life. That strategic network turned a garage project into a global revolution. But here's the catch. Networking is not about taking, it's about giving. The strongest networks are built on generosity, authenticity, and respect. When you approach relationships as opportunities to serve, support, and add value, you become magnetic. People want to be around you because you enrich their lives, not just because you can help yourself. In the end, networking is survival because life's challenges are too great, the competition too fierce, and the opportunities too vast to navigate alone. Your network is your strategic advantage, your shield and your launching pad. Start today by reaching out with genuine interest. Build your mastermind. Protect your circle. Your future depends on it. Financial literacy, this is the real education they skip. The silent force that separates the wealthy from the struggling, the free from the trapped. School teaches you to solve equations, memorize history, and understand science. But it rarely teaches you how to make money work for you, instead of working for money. Napoleon Hill recognized this truth long ago, writing that money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. This lesson is not just about dollars and cents. It is about mastering a mindset and strategy that liberates you from worry, dependence, and limitation. Look around and you will see the consequences of this missing education. Millions work tirelessly for a paycheck, caught in a cycle of earning and spending, with little understanding of saving, investing, or wealth creation. This is not because they lack intelligence or effort. It is because they were never taught the language of money. They are prisoners of a system designed to keep them financially dependent, trading time for dollars without learning the art of making money multiply. The psychology behind financial literacy is deeply rooted in fear and habit. Many fear loss more than they desire gain. This fear keeps them from investing or taking calculated risks, while habits of instant gratification pull them toward unnecessary spending. Financial literacy teaches you to break these chains, to see money as a tool, a resource to be managed, grown, and protected. It turns scarcity into abundance, worry into confidence. Consider Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in history. His success is not just about talent, but about disciplined financial education and habits developed over decades. Buffett began investing as a child, learning to read financial statements and understand market cycles. His secret wasn't luck, it was relentless study, prudence, and the ability to think long-term. This mindset allowed him to see opportunities others missed and avoid pitfalls that ruin many. Financial literacy also teaches the importance of cash flow, knowing exactly where your money comes from and where it goes. Without this knowledge, even the highest income can disappear without building lasting wealth. Many earn big paychecks, yet live paycheck to paycheck because they lack this fundamental understanding. Knowing the difference between assets and liabilities is critical. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. The wealthy invest in assets, stocks, real estate, businesses that generate income passively, freeing them from the endless grind. Real-world stories reveal the power of financial literacy. Take the story of Chris Gardner, who faced homelessness yet used his financial knowledge and determination to become a successful stockbroker, inspiring the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. His story teaches that financial education is a pathway out of hardship, but only if combined with persistence and vision. This education also guards against deception. Without financial literacy, people fall prey to scams, bad deals, and misleading advice. It empowers you to ask the right questions, demand clarity, and make informed decisions. Financial literacy is not just a skill, it is a shield against exploitation. The good news? Financial literacy is learned. It begins with small steps, tracking your expenses, creating a budget, understanding interest, and studying investment basics. It requires discipline but rewards you with freedom. The freedom to choose how you live, how you work, and how you prepare for the future. Remember, wealth is not just about how much you earn, but how wisely you manage what you have. Financial literacy is the real education that transforms money from a source of stress into a source of power. Without it, you remain a servant to money. With it, you become its master. Start today. Educate yourself. Build your financial intelligence, because the greatest power in life is the power to control your money and, through it, control your destiny. Persistence is the silent engine that drives every extraordinary achievement, far beyond talent or luck. School may reward talent and good grades, and the world may idolize luck, but the truth Napoleon Hill revealed is that persistence is the force that turns dreams into reality. Persistence, he wrote, is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. Without it, talent dulls, luck fades, and the strongest dreams crumble. Persistence is not flashy. It doesn't grab headlines, but it is the heartbeat of all success. Think about the countless stories of people who refused to quit when every sign told them to give up. The Wright brothers, for instance, faced ridicule, disbelief, and repeated failures as they struggled to invent the first powered airplane. Their talent alone was not enough. It was their relentless persistence, day after day, experiment after experiment, that finally lifted humanity into the sky. They did not wait for luck or an easy path. They carved their path with grit and an unyielding refusal to accept defeat. Psychologically, persistence is a demonstration of willpower and belief. It's the ability to face adversity, setbacks, and discouragement without losing sight of your goal. When talent encounters failure, it can become discouraged. When luck runs dry, it can leave you feeling lost. But persistence keeps you moving forward, step by step, even when the road is steep and the destination distant. It is the muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. Consider the story of J.K. Before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon, she was rejected by a dozen publishers, struggling as a single mother on welfare. It would have been easy to give up, to believe the world was closing the door. But her persistence, her refusal to let rejection define her, transformed a childhood passion into a cultural legacy. Talent played a role, but it was persistence that carried her through the darkest moments. Persistence also rewires your minds. Each time you push through difficulty, you build resilience and confidence. You learn that failure is temporary and that progress comes through consistent effort. This mindset is magnetic. It attracts opportunities and allies. People are drawn to those who don't quit, who stand firm against the storms of life. Persistence is a signal that you are serious about your goals and ready to earn success. There's a psychological phenomenon called the dip, the point where everything feels hardest, where quitting seems tempting. Persistence is the courage to push past the dip. It's where many fail, but the champions emerge. Remember, most great achievements require crossing this dip, not avoiding it. But persistence is not blind stubbornness. It is a strategic, focused endurance. It requires learning, adjusting, and improving along the way. It's about being relentless without being reckless, knowing when to pivot, but never when to quit. This balance is what separates true persistence from stubbornness. In life, talent and luck will always play roles, but persistence is the great equalizer. It allows ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things. It makes the impossible possible. If you want to master your fate, start mastering your persistence. Commit to your goals so deeply that no obstacle can stop you. When others quit, press hard. When the world says no, say yes. Over and over again. Because the greatest lesson Napoleon Hill teaches us is this: persistence is the key that unlocks every door. Talent opens some doors, luck opens others, but persistence kicks them wide open. Purpose over passion. This is the compass that points us toward true fulfillment, a lesson school never teaches but every wise soul eventually learns. Passion is loud, fiery, and intoxicating. It grabs your attention, makes your heart race, and promises instant gratification. But passion is often fleeting, a spark that can quickly burn out when reality hits. Purpose, on the other hand, is quiet, steady, and enduring. It is the deep current beneath the waves, guiding you through storms, setbacks, and long nights. Napoleon Hill understood this when he wrote, "A definite purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Without purpose, passion alone cannot sustain the journey." Think about the countless people who chase passion alone, jumping from one shiny opportunity to the next, restless and unsatisfied. They burn bright, but fade fast, lost when passion wanes or obstacles appear. But those who succeed and endure have something far stronger. Purpose gives meaning to the hard work, the sacrifices, and even the pain. It transforms your goals from mere desires into a mission that commands your commitment and fuels your resilience. Psychologically, purpose anchors your identity and your action. It aligns your values, your strengths, and your vision for the future. When you know your purpose, you can navigate life's uncertainties with clarity and confidence. You stop asking, "What's in it for me?" and start asking, What can I give? What difference can I make? This shift from self to service is the essence of lasting fulfillment. Consider the story of Malala Yousafzai. She could have been inspired by passion for education alone, but it was her purpose, the belief that every child deserves a chance to learn, that drove her to risk everything. Despite violence and threats, her unwavering purpose gave her strength beyond her years. Passion alone might have flickered out in fear, but purpose made her unstoppable. She didn't just follow a feeling, she lived a mission. Purpose also sustains you when passion fades. There will be times when excitement dims, when doubts creep in, and when the journey feels endless. Passion can't carry you through those dark valleys. Purpose is the compass that keeps you moving, step by step, long after passion's fire cools. It provides a reason to persevere, a why that makes any how bearable. Many successful entrepreneurs and leaders testify to this truth. Steve Jobs once said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." But more importantly, he believed that love must be tied to a purpose greater than oneself. His purpose to revolutionize technology and creativity drove him through failures and betrayal. Purpose gave his passion direction and power. The profound lesson is this: passion is the spark, but purpose is the fuel. Passion without purpose leads to burnout. Purpose without passion leads to complacency. Together they create unstoppable momentum. But if you must choose one to guide you, choose purpose. It is the compass that will never fail you. So ask yourself, what is my purpose? What legacy do I want to leave? What problem do I want to solve in this world? Answering these questions will transform your life. Your purpose becomes your North Star, unwavering, steady, and true. Remember, fulfillment does not come from chasing fleeting feelings. It comes from living a life aligned with purpose, a life that matters beyond yourself. Embrace purpose over passion, and watch as your life transcends ordinary and touches greatness. The mind, it is the most powerful battlefield you will ever face. This invisible war rages every moment, not outside you, but within you. Napoleon Hill taught us that the mind is everything, what you think you become. Yet this truth is often overlooked, because the fight inside your mind is silent, subtle, and easily ignored, until it controls you completely. Mastering your mind is not merely a luxury for the chosen few. It is the essential skill that determines your fate. The battle you win within is the battle you win in life. Think about the mind as a kingdom with countless voices: doubt, fear, anger, hope, and courage, all clamoring for attention. Left unchecked, the negative voices, the self-critic, the cynic, the voice of fear can drown out your potential and imprison you in a cycle of limitation. Every great failure begins as a defeat in the mind. Before anything is lost in the world, it is lost in your thought. But every victory, no matter how grand, begins with control over your inner dialogue. Consider the story of Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the unimaginable horrors of concentration camps during World War II. What saved him was not physical strength, but mastery over his mind. Even in the darkest conditions, he chose his thoughts and found meaning. He taught us that while we cannot always control our circumstances, we can control our responses. This mental mastery is a force no external enemy can conquer. Psychologically, the mind operates on habit and belief. Your thoughts shape your emotions influence your actions, and your actions carve your destiny. When negative thinking dominates, it creates a mental environment hostile to success. When positive, focused thinking governs, it becomes fertile soil for achievement. The challenge lies in training your mind to reject the destructive and embrace the constructive. This is no small task. It requires vigilance, discipline, and relentless practice. Real-world examples abound. Thomas Edison, who faced thousands of failures inventing the light bulb, famously said he never failed, but found ways that didn't work. His mind refused to accept defeat. That refusal was mental mastery in action. In business, Warren Buffett speaks of emotional discipline as the key to his success, the ability to keep greed, fear, and impatience at bay. Mastering your mind means becoming the commander of your thoughts. It means recognizing when the mind strays into doubt or negativity and gently but firmly redirecting it. Meditation, journaling, affirmations, these tools are weapons in your mental arsenal. But more important than tools is the mindset. Knowing that you can choose your thoughts, that you are not a slave to impulse or emotion. When you master your mind, you gain freedom. Freedom from anxiety, from self-sabotage, from the paralyzing grip of fear. You step into your power, making decisions with clarity, resilience, and purpose. The battlefield within transforms into a sanctuary where your highest self reigns. Remember, the greatest enemy you face is the one inside your head, but it is also the greatest ally you can have once mastered. Napoleon Hill's timeless wisdom guides us. The mind is everything, and what you think you become. So choose your thoughts with care. Train your mind relentlessly. Win the battle within, and you win the battle for your life.